lords and ladies, wildlings and White Walkers, welcome to the main event. In this corner, surrounded by the flayed bodies of his enemies, the legitimized bastard son of Roose Bolton, the current Lord of Winterfell because he stabbed his dad and fed his brother and stepmom to the dogs, the rapey husband of Sansa, the torturer supreme who hopefully won't do to her brother Rickon what he did to Theon, Ramsay Bolton. And in this corner, hailing from Winterfell and parts unknown, surrounded by an army of wildlings, northerners, and 62 fighters from Bear Island, the bastard son of a Stark who possibly might be Eddard, the 998th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. You can't kill him 'cause he's already been dead, Jon Snow. It's Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 9, Battle of the Bastards.
Alright, spoilers ahead just so you've been warned. Wow! Alright, now episode 9 has always been the big battle sequence of the series, and since this episode was called Battle of the Bastards, I mistakenly thought that this was going to focus strictly around the battle at Winterfell, and I am so glad to be disappointed. This was amazing. The opening bit was fantastic. Just seeing the dragons free and flying around and these are the types of scenes, these are the moments that we have been waiting years for as an audience. Just an amazing stuff. The dragons again around with the fleet and the big head-to-head was just beautifully done. I have to say, I really enjoyed Tyrion's little bit in advising Dany. You know, he kind of came into this on the downside of like the places attacking just as Dan is being attacked, just as Dany has arrived. So we could easily see that this was a big fault of Tyrion and that he could be in the real negative position. But I think he turned it around well, saying that they're only attacking because Meereen has been doing well. And especially really advising Dany against acting like her father and giving a great alternate choice, just having the dragons attack that one boat, obliterate a massive overpowered attack, splitting the boat in half with their dragon fire. Because this not only gave them a fleet, it made Dany look merciful as well, and gave us that beautiful scene between Grey Worm and Tyrion, showing the masters just how quickly they can turn on each other. It was just a fantastic sequence. Now, the one thing we also learned in that little opening bit is the truth about the wildfire thing, what's going back in King's Landing, what Cersei's plan is, and that the wildfire is everywhere. It is under the Red Keep, it is under the Sept, all of these places. So this is going to sign us into what Cersei was looking for, what Qyburn has, revealed as the rumors being so true, monumentally true. But with Jaime heading back to King's Landing, if this is Cersei's plan, I'm kind of curious how this is going to affect Jaime, who killed the last king because of his plans to use wildfire within the city. So I thought that was just, again, a really nice moment of touching back to what's going on with King's Landing, as well as, that warning against our parents. And that continued on when Yara arrived. Again, nice little moment between Tyrion and Theon, who haven't seen each other since way back in the first episodes, way back in season 1. So seeing that little bit of change in him, that was kind of exciting. And of course, a little cheekiness of Yara and Dany back and forth. I think that strong woman appeal is going on. And that's sort of a consistent theme throughout this episode. The strength of Dany, the strength of Yara, the strength of Sansa later on. All of this very much a very strong woman episode, and that is nice to see. But of course, what all that basically lends up to is Yara and Dany, they're allies now, Yara has to, swears, allegiance. They're going to be free. I mean, that was a nice little bit too, They're not demanding freedom. She's asking for it, Nicely done. But we've got the support of Yara for Dany. At the same time, Dany is going to help, secure the return of the Iron Islands to her, and that they are going to stop raping and pillaging and raiding throughout the seas, throughout the land. So again, moving forward here, that acknowledgement we all had evil dads, but we must do better. We must change things for the better. So really nice opening sequence and really setting things up. But of course, return to Winterfell we do. And there also the battle does not disappoint. And I thought they really moved things forward well. They set everything up, set the battle, how everybody's point of view. I like the little moment between Tormund and Davos, just, weighing of what warriors do before the battle. And the kind of sad moment, this is going to play forward with Melisandre and Davos, as Davos comes across the old funeral pyre where the young princess was burned to death. Stannis, that's why you deserve to die. That was it. That was the line you crossed. And that was kind of sad. But also a lot of great moments between Jon and Sansa. Again, not the same people they were. And that is a great moment of transition of Jon trying to, design the battle, trying to anticipate things. And Sansa really throwing out, hey, you never asked me. You don't know this guy. You met him for just a couple of minutes. Do not do what he thinks you're going to do. He is a sick, dark man, and you can't expect. It was just those little bits there. Again, we're seeing Sansa growing older, growing a lot more into her future role as really going to be the queen of Winterfell. She is going to be the lordess at this moment because Jon can't necessarily take things over. Don't really know where his focus is going to be, and of course, Rickon, let's just face it, Rickon was never going to survive this. And I also like the fact that that's what Sansa really brings forth. Is, Jon's still looking, how are we going to save Rickon? And Sansa's saying, you can't. The moment that he got into Ramsay's hands, he was gone. So I think all of these, again, really illustrating that those moments forward that will build that great kind of dark character work before the big battle began. And that was incredible. All of the intensity of a battle, the chaos, the just everything that goes into it. I think they illustrated it really well. The madness within. Some beautiful shots. That shot with Jon just standing up with his sword as all of Ramsay's cavalry was running at him. Beautiful shot. The chaos in the battle that followed there, where it's just Jon striking at people around and horses running through and other people stabbing, and you save one guy and then he turns around and gets killed by someone like that. The visceral action in there was just amazing. Really well done. I think this is probably one of the best sword battle sequences that I have seen, and I've seen a lot of them. Just again with the chaos, and they kind of got everything involved there as well. And great moments with characters too, because you have Davos not wanting to have archery fire into the big fray at the fear of hitting his own men. Whereas Ramsay, completely the opposite, just doing waves and waves of arrows in, hitting his own men, hitting other people's men. Kind of a setup, like Jon had said, is if we turn things, we show things enough, his men don't want to fight for him. They have to. And I was kind of hoping that might have been brought up a little bit more. There might have been some rumblings within his army. But again, that's a small bit. I think everything that they did mostly was just incredibly well done. Visual spectacle and a lot of different scenes of the chaos that you can find within battle. Now we do learn a couple of important lessons that we should. 1, Rickon, Serpentine! Serpentine! Never run in a straight line. Look, folks, if you're being shot at with arrows, guns, anything, never run in a straight line. It's always serpentine. Change your directions, mix things up. It's like being chased by a car. You don't run down the road. You get off the road. People should know this. 2, castles generally not designed for defense against giants. And that was a beautiful moment right there at the end when Ramsay's like, well, we're just going to go back in Winterfell. We can stay here. We don't need to fight it out. And of course, we had just seen Tormund Snow and the giant running up, after them. So that wasn't going to last long. And that was just great. The giant just tearing down the door. Now, very sad that he did give his life for that. I think that is the last of the giants. So, very sad. I love that nice little moment between him and Jon before Ramsay put that final arrow in his eye. And of course, that's the moment when Ramsay says, oh, you want to do one-on-one combat? All right, let's do it. And rightfully just got his ass beat, handed to him. It was just beautiful. Oh, and other thing with the giant, if you are going to have a giant in your battle, isn't he supposed to have like a huge tree or something to swing and clear things out? I always thought that was the big meaning for it. Maybe not because you've got a giant, you don't think so, but especially in that scene with all of the shield barrier that was formed around. Beautifully done. Great battle tactics right there, developed by the Romans. Just amazing. You guys should check some of that out in military history. But that long stacking line of shields, that's when you need the giant with the tree and swinging and knocking those things out as opposed to trying to overreach the spears. So that could have been a little differently done. And of course, when all looks south, that is when Peter Baelish, your little finger, arrives with the Knights of the Vale to break their lines, take down all of the shieldmen, and sort of overflow, give that second shot back into the group. Wonderfully done, very exciting, and obviously that is where Sansa's letter was being sent. And that fun little sequence, yes, you have Sansa smiling over the battlefield, but you've got Peter Baelish right next to her, and you know that he is going to exact a certain price for that assistance. So, again, wonderful seeing them. This is that great gathering of the northern tribes and their allies, beautifully done. But we're going to see, I think, a little bit of downside between her and Peter Baelish. Well, I mean, not necessarily downside, but he's creepy. You know what he wants. I think he needs to be taken out soon. But that's me. I could go over moments and different moments throughout this episode. I don't think that's necessary. I think it was fantastic from beginning to end. I thought it carried the emotion. It built things up. You had the great moment, meeting between Jon and Ramsay, setting up their characters, the discussions afterwards, and then the big battle sequence where everything came forward, and that was all just beautifully done. Just everything from beginning to end was magnificently done in this episode. I'm not going to spend too much time going in through specifics, except, of course, the very end, Sansa's revenge. Perfect. Sicking the dogs, and especially turning it around to what he had said at the beginning. I haven't fed my dogs in 7 days. And that's exactly what she throws at him. Oh, you think they're loyal? They haven't eaten. These are hungry animals. And just, beautiful sequence with the dogs just licking his face. And you know it's coming. And then it was long. It was painful. It was perfect. It was a perfect way for Ramsay to go, and with Sansa sort of letting that loose, getting her final revenge. We're going to ruin your house. No one's going to remember you. Everything that you were ever here is going to be gone. And the thing left over is going to be little dog droppings in the background. Amazing. So we have Winterfell back in Stark hands. The Boltons are wiped out. Lot of wildlings lost in that battle. But this should bring the rest of the North back together, so now we should have a good, solid army to defend against the coming of the Night King. And that's it. That's it. Like I said, I could go over tons of specifics of what else had happened within the episode, but there is no need. Watch it again, watch it a third time. Perfectly done episode. Just marvelous. Now, we only have one episode left after this. It's next week, and it is going to be an extended episode. This is about 65 minutes, I think 69 minutes. So a lot more going on. This is one of the longest episodes that they've ever had. A lot more build up, and I think that's the great thing they are continuing to do with this season is they are making things happen. They're moving all of these pieces forward, setting up the small little bits and moving them forward. And I think if they continue to do so the next season or two, however long this is going to last, could be 7, could be 8 seasons, I think it's going to be fantastic. So, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Go ahead and hit that like button if you do. Subscribe. Come back. We got one more episode left, but you can always take a look at the other things going on here. There's the red button. Go ahead and press that right there. You can come back every week. So, like I said, one more episode left, and I'm going to have a little bit of break, and then we'll be starting up Mr. Robot in July. The premiere is Wednesday, July 13th. So review will be following the day after that. Again, that's it. Ideas, thoughts, what are your views? Go ahead and throw those down in the comment section below. I want to give a big shout out to River, Carolyn, and David, who assisted me in filming the little bit at the beginning here of the episode. I hope you enjoyed that. And that's going to be it. I am D. I am out of here, and I hope you guys are having a great day. It's the first day of summer, so head on out there, enjoy the sun, don't melt, stay cool. You all take it easy. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.